how long were you in that long-term relationship?
12 years.
So you were in a relationship for 12 years. Were you married or was just dating?
Nope, just dating.
So
Yeah.
you dated for 12 years, got on dating apps for a month, and met your husband.
And met my now husband.
Wow.
Anyone who's sitting out there waiting, just let it go.
Wow.
Just let it go.
Kristina was in a relationship for 12 years. 12 years. And when that relationship ended, she wasn't trying to rush into marriage. She was simply trying to figure out what dating looked like now. She tried a few dating apps, then she tried Bumble, because she liked that women had to make the first move. And she met him fast. A couple weeks later, she met Terrence. Terrence had been on the dating app for about a year. 90 days later, they became exclusive, and 3 years later, they were married. I'm Dee Dee Patterson, and on this channel, I share real stories of couples who found lasting love on dating apps because I want you to believe in love again and see that dating apps really can lead to marriage. After all, I met my husband of 15 years on a dating app too. Kristina and Terrence's story is proof that after letting go of the wrong relationship, love can still find you at the right time. Let's dive in. Hello. We have another couple. We have Terrence and Kristina Redmond. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. So let's just get started on the interview. So first, what do you both do for a living?
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. I am a payroll manager for a staffing company.
Okay, good. What about you, Terrence?
I'm in private security.
Okay, good. Then how long have you guys been married?
Well, going on 2 years now, in almost in August.
2 years. I love the couples who just got married just to show dating apps still work. Some people think they don't work, but yes, 2 years. Yay. Okay. So what site did you meet on?
Bumble.
Bumble. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So then how did you meet? Who wants to go first on telling your story?
Ladies first.
I had to feel you, so let me go first.
I see a theme. Okay.
I'm being a gentleman.
Okay.
Good.
I'll accept that. So we met on the Bumble dating app, and I guess like just to give background, like why I was even on there, like I had tried like looking on Plenty of Fish, things like that. It's creepy out there. It's a little rough, and I wasn't even really out there long. Like it was definitely something like, let me just try this. A friend recommended it. What I liked is that they allow women to like make the first move, I guess. So you have to initiate the conversation if it's somebody that you like and likes you in return. So I like that I could kind of go at my own pace. But we met on Bumble. We I guess some things that stood out, of course, with him were he was actually responsive. I think
that matters. Yeah.
So many of those apps, it's like you message somebody, you don't hear anything. So it was easy to just converse and just talk, I think, through like the app.
Good. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Terrence. What's your side of it?
Yeah, so I'll piggyback off of her. I thought Bumble was definitely a different experience for me. That was my first time really on a dating app. So
Really?
yeah, that was my first time on a dating app. So when we first started talking, I just felt like it was different, just the app in itself. And I had a good experience, I would say.
So I have to ask, how long were each of you on the app? So Kristina, how long were you on Bumble?
I was only on Bumble maybe like a couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I was only out there a couple weeks. Yes, I was just giving it a try. And
wow.
I got lucky. Like, yes, by the grace of God. I don't know how to describe it.
A couple weeks for Kristina. What about you, Terrence?
Ooh, man, I was on that tragic app. Not to say it was tragic meeting her, but I went through a few hell dates before meeting this lovely woman.
Oh.
But, I was on there for about a year.
A year. Okay. Interesting. And then Kristina, you said you were on other dating apps before Bumble. How long were you on those dating apps before you met Terrence on Bumble?
Even only a month. It was definitely something I was just trying. I was actually coming out of a relationship, a really long relationship. So it was something that was just kind of like, what is it like now? Like, what is this life, like this dating life now? And I will say I'm not a very extroverted person. So you're not going to see me in clubs and bars and things like that. I've never really been that person, obviously here and there, but it was definitely something where I was like, what suits me? And I'm like, you know what? Let me try this dating app thing and just see. It was my first go at it, and like I said, the first I just did because it was free and it was scary out there.
Right.
And then I tried Bumble because it felt like something I could just do at my own pace, and that suited me a bit better.
Nice. And then how long were you in that long-term relationship?
12 years.
So you were in a relationship for 12 years. Were you married or was just dating?
Nope, just dating.
So
Yeah.
you dated for 12 years, got
Mhm.
on dating apps for a month, and met your husband.
And met my now husband. So
Wow.
anyone who's sitting out there waiting, just let it go.
Wow.
I think
Good
that would
advice.
be my message. Just let it go. Let it go.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. So what made Terrence stand out to you? I already know you're gonna say ladies first, so I started the question with
Yeah.
Kristina. What made Terrence stand out to you on Bumble?
I would say responsiveness. So of course,
Okay.
with as the lady having to make the first move, or message
Mhm.
that person first, sometimes people just ghost you. Like, you just wouldn't hear back from guys and things like that. So he was responsive, I would say, very direct in his communication. So he would say, hey, I'm starting my shift or something like that. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Hmm.
So the communication, I feel like, between us has always been so strong, so open, so easy. Even conversing
Nice.
with him, getting to know him, it was just easy conversation through text messages. And I
Good.
and what also stood out is that his humor immediately would come through, like in our conversation. So he would just have me just like a little schoolgirl just laughing into my phone. So I would say that was immediate.
Good. And then what about his profile? Before you guys started talking and he became very responsive, what on his profile stood out?
I would say his photos, of course, he was attractive, but it also, like, he didn't have so many, like people like take the picture in the bathroom, like with the
Mhm.
he had maybe like one like kind of selfie photo, but all the other photos he had were like him engaging in something and doing something, and in a way, like enjoying life. So
Mhm.
I liked that it wasn't all just like, let me take a profile picture and put on my
Good.
best face at this moment. It was like, here are some moments in time in his life. So I appreciated that.
Nice. Okay. And for you, Terrence, what about Christina stood out once you got a message from her? What stood out about Christina on the dating app?
I thought she was very down to earth. Her personality, I could tell she was very feminine in her interaction. She had
Mm-hmm.
very submissive energy, and that's important for myself in a good way,
Okay.
not in a bad way. But she was very intentional, I would say.
Okay.
But
What is submissive energy? What is that?
it was more so like, let's say, of a woman, like she just knows how to be a woman, I would say.
Okay.
Not to be overbearing,
Take the lead.
Hmm.
Yeah, she just let me just take the lead naturally. Like if we planted something, she would, okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. Yeah.
Tell me the time, tell me what to wear, but
Yeah.
balls in your court.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So you met on a dating app. Then how long did it take you guys to get on your first date after you guys first started talking and his humor was coming out? How long did it take to go on your first date?
It was about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we
Not
were
that long.
talking, yeah, we were talking constantly through the app. So I think that's what was so cool. Was like, I think for a minute it kind of took us a second to realize we were still messaging through the app as
Yeah.
opposed to like each other, just because we were
Hmm.
just constantly conversing through the app before even exchanging numbers and that kind of thing. So I think that part was pretty cool. So it was about a week.
Nice. And then what happened on the first date?
So the first day we actually went to the National Harbor. Yep, so that's one of our spots. We say so now. We still hold it dear to our heart, but we had a good time. It was very simple. We went to Potbelly's.
Yep.
We went to
Hmm.
Potbelly, sat down, had a sandwich, and then we had ice cream afterwards. And then
Wow.
after ice cream, we went on the Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah. Okay. You guys are obviously in the DC area, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I don't know if everybody knows where the National Harbor is, but yes,
Right.
whenever I drive by, I see the fair as well there. So yeah. Okay. So when you first saw each other, I don't know how it went or how you first saw each other. Was it love at first sight? What did you think when you first saw each other?
Thank God I didn't get catfished. I think was the first kind of
Oh,
my
okay.
first reaction was like,
Okay.
thank God he looks like his pictures. That was my first. I was like, "Ooh, relief." It was relief at first.
Okay.
But I will say, I feel like the chemistry was there from the beginning. It was kind of like just like
Mm.
meeting an old friend. Like it wasn't. Of course, there were some nerves, of course, but it was still like just naturally like we like immediately held hands, like all of that. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you immediately held hands. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
So you guys like met in a parking lot or something, or
Yep.
okay.
Right in the parking lot.
And then when you walked to the restaurant, did you hold hands then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think something that stood out to me is he immediately got my door when we went back to the restaurant. And that has been his thing ever since, has never changed. As soon as I reach for a door handle, he's like, get your hand away from there.
Oh.
So that's something he's like, like I get the door. So he had
That's
that,
good.
that energy, that gentlemanly vibe from the beginning, and it hasn't changed.
Good. Wow, that's wonderful. So when you mentioned that your first thought was that you weren't catfish, so that means you guys didn't have like a video call. You just went from messaging each other to the first date.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you talk on the phone ever, or did you?
It was
like
brief.
Voice. Didn't we do like voice messages?
Yeah,
or something?
I
tell her about the voice message.
So I did the voice memo message to her. I did a voice note message to her, just to make sure she was like a real person and not AI.
Right. So you said you had to make sure she was an AI.
Yes.
I'm sending you this message so that you know that I am in fact a man.
Did you come across AI people, or did you ever experience that in your year of being on a dating app?
No, I didn't, but I would just always see shows and TV, different episodes. It's just weird out there. So I just want to throw that out there.
Okay. So for Terrence, was it love at first sight when you first saw Kristina? What were you thinking?
It wasn't love at first sight for me, to be honest.
Okay.
But I can't honestly say her energy made me feel like I can really fall in love with her. To be honest, because I just felt like we just known each other for a long time. It was just natural. Yeah. So, and that was the first woman I ever met like that, and she's still the same. The same energy, same genuine spirit, same good vibe, good energy, and she just been herself this whole time. So we did, of course, come to love one another, but I just felt like it was different for me in this relationship and setting that we had.
Good. Okay. That's good. And that's very interesting that you felt like she was the same, like from when you first met her to like now. You felt like she was like the same person and she didn't change. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. You mentioned that you had terrible experience during the year that you were on the dating app. Like what happened that was terrible with the other women?
I would say just women not knowing what they want, not being intentional, and just using you, to be honest, for a meal. They just want to go to nice restaurants and go eat. And, I can tell those things, and that's a red flag.
Okay.
I can tell I have good discernment. I can tell a person's genuine heart. So I just know it's certain red flags that I pick up on in women that I just don't like. So those are a few cons that's out there for me. So one experience I will tell you though, real quick. She still holds on to me. I asked a woman one day, I said, I would like an air fryer. Now, mind you, we weren't dating. We weren't dating at all. So she goes ahead and buys me an air fryer.
Okay.
So I'm like, I didn't ask you to buy it, but okay, thank you. So needless to say, we still have the same air fryer here. So she still gets on me about
it. Take it. Okay.
I always joke, and I'm like, yeah, that's your air fryer from your ex-girlfriend. Or you broke that girl's heart. You had her get you an air fryer, broke her heart.
Aww. So explain why that was a terrible experience, that you said you wanted that and she bought it for you and you didn't mean for her to buy it. Can you explain for anybody watching why that was a negative experience for you?
Because I felt like she was trying to buy me in that moment. It's like I have my own money and source of income. You don't have to buy me with items. So
gotcha.
That was a red flag for me.
Okay. You didn't just take it as her just being nice.
In some way, yes, but
Okay.
the way it's coming from me as a man, I felt like she was trying to buy me. Like, I
Hmm.
want you to be my man. I want you to be with me in that moment.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, this is good to just hear from your perspectives because some men might be like, oh, yay, someone bought me something. But for you, it just felt like she was just trying to buy you.
Yeah,
So
just
I,
trying too hard. Yeah.
okay, I can see
Thank you
that.
for the
Okay. But you still have your air fryer
we
with
good.
your new wife.
Yeah.
Still there, right?
Okay. All right. So then after that first date, how long did it take for you guys to become exclusive?
We were intentional. We said 90 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I mean, I would say we were probably exclusive. Like I wasn't seeing anybody else like during that time frame, that kind of thing. I was still going through, part of my separation from my previous relationship, like needing to sell my house and things like that. So yeah, all that was still going on. And so we weren't exclusive until 90 days.
Okay. So about 3 months later, you guys
Yeah.
were like, it's just us. And then I'm assuming with you, Terrence, you weren't seeing anybody between those 3 months, or did you still go on dates?
No, I wasn't seeing anyone. So
Okay.
just a back history, I was previously married. So
Okay.
I was just coming off of a marriage probably about 2 years before I met her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So for 90 days, what happened? You just saw each other regularly, still talked? What happened during those 90 days?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we still, of course, dated. We still went on dates. We did whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
We did
Mhm.
Old Alexandria, another area here in the DMV. And we still dated intentionally, spent time together. And I think it was your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had returned from a trip with his friends, and we went to a vineyard,
Yeah,
for your
vineyard.
birthday. And we did like dinner. And then that's when, yeah, what did you ask me?
I asked her, yes.
Yes.
What did you say? Or how did you ask her?
I said, girl, you my woman.
That what you said.
You mine. No, I didn't say that.
Okay, I was going to ask Christina. Is that what he said? But go ahead. What did you say?
No, I said, I pretty much basically said, look, I like where we headed, the direction we headed in. I see a future for us. I have a vision for us, a goal. And, I want us to be exclusive. I want us to be me and you till the wheels fall off.
Good. You said till the wheels fall off?
Till the wheels fall
I
off.
think he did say to the wheels fall off. He says it so often now. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, that was the first time I heard it. So okay. And then, okay, so then you became exclusive after 90 days. I'm assuming Christina said yes. So how long did it take you guys to get engaged and married after that?
Was what? Engaged 2 years. Yep.
2 years.
Okay.
Yep. So we right around your birthday again.
Yep.
Yeah. So we were exclusive in October, and then 2 years from then we got engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So now that you've been married for 2 years, what do you like about him? Christina, what do you like about Terrence?
I think what stands out the most is that he stayed the same. I think that was important to both of us. Me coming out of a long relationship, him coming out of a marriage, was that look, there's no mask here. We're not putting on a performance. Like we just need to be ourselves. I don't have the energy to do anything other than be myself. And he felt the same way. So I think that's what's been great about our marriage is just we're just ourselves every day, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. It's just we're just ourselves and checking in. He's always been really great about just taking a moment, whether it's turning the TV off, putting the phone down, stopping everything to just ask, "Am I happy?"
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, very good. Have you ever said no, or is the answer yes? Of course, I'm happy.
It's usually yes.
Usually yes.
And I feel like the only time I've ever been like, no, you say sometimes. You're the one that says sometimes. I always say yes, and he'll be like sometimes. And I'm like, well, what would make you happier? You'd be like $1 billion. So
okay. So then what about you, Terrence? What about, and you probably already said some of it, but what about Christina do you like after 2 years of being married?
Well, she just reminds me so much of my mother, to be honest. It's her nurturing spirit. I have a previous daughter we share now. She's considered her daughter. She's 13. And so the way she treated my daughter, I can only love her the way she loves her. So
Oh.
I just feel like, this is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. And she just never switched up, the same as she said about me. She's been the same since day one. We laugh together. I consider her my best friend. We watch
Hmm.
movie shows together. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, pray together, laugh together, cry together. We've been through
Good.
a lot, in this short amount of time, but she's always stood the test of time, and she's still, my ride or die.
Oh, so cute. Okay, good. How long were you married in your previous marriage?
5 years.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. Okay. And then you met Christina soon after that one ended.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Christina, what advice do you give for people who are looking for love online? What advice do you give?
I would say it sounds silly, but like treat others how you want to be treated. If
Mm,
you want communication, make sure you're communicating with others and being honest with others. Don't lead people on.
mhm.
Be transparent and be direct. And like we have always done, just take the mask off. It's so easy
Good.
to hide behind pictures and filters, especially in this day and age. Be yourself, because when the going gets tough, when things change, that's who you're going to fall back to, and that person deserves to see that version of you. So don't
Good.
put on a show and don't put on a mask. It's not going to get you far. And then I would say too, when you're going through those profiles and you're looking for that person, look for character.
Mm-hmm.
Look for character. Don't
Mm.
just look for the dollar signs. Don't look for the flashy jobs.
Wow.
I've learned this just in my life that can change. It can change.
Right.
Whoever's making the most money, that can change at any time. Money comes and goes, but who is that person beyond all of that? And is that the person you want to be with through all of that? Because it's going to happen. Like, I think people assume and think that those things are never going to come up. Finances are going to come up. Families are going to come up. All of those things. And who's going to be with you through all of that? You have to look past the fancy job, the clothes, and the exterior.
Good stuff. I love that. Looking for character. That's huge. Good. Yeah. And I like the part of the you said in the beginning of the communication, just being transparent. I liked when you said earlier that Terrence used to say, "Oh, I have to go right now. This is happening." Sometimes we don't do that. We just let there be a long gap and the other person's like wondering, where'd he go? So I love that Terrence was very transparent about what he's doing, what's going on. Good. A lot of good stuff. So, Terrence, what advice do you have for men or anyone looking for love online?
I would say mostly, this is strictly mostly towards men. I would say
Okay.
just really be intentional. That
Hmm.
that is the number one key. It's a lot of men out here that's doing a lot of crazy things to women online and just not being who they are. Eventually your representative is gonna come down and you're gonna see who they really are. So you
Hmm.
got to be yourself. So I would say be intentional. Make sure that you make right decisions, smart decisions. And make sure you keep the women the number one priority because that's not always number
Hmm.
one priority. What I mean by that is, sometimes it's an alternative. In the dating world. Of course, they may want the physical nature aspect, but the thing is, you want to make sure you can talk to this woman. You want to make sure you
Hmm.
start a family with this woman. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by that.
When you say the alternative, are you talking about like physical alternative or
Yeah,
what are you saying? No,
sex.
that's what you meant. You're just avoiding saying that word.
Right. I didn't want to be rated R, so
Yeah, yeah, I
I'm
got
trying
you.
to be
But you're
professional.
gotcha. Okay, so you're saying that the men should look to be with women to for a future, not for just like short term type things.
Right. That's
Is
what I
that
mean. But that's what I mean by being intentional because a lot of men are just playing with women just for the jokes of it, and that's not
okay?
cool. Treat people like you want to be treated. You know, you
Yeah,
wouldn't want your
good.
daughters to be treated like that. So that's
Hmm.
how I look at it.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's good. What marriage advice do you have, Christina?
He does it best, just checking in with your partner.
Mm,
Like when you're in the middle of your baby being sick all week, you're both tired, burning the candle at both ends. Like it helps to
mm-hmm.
have someone that'll lay next to you and just be like, "Are you okay? Like, is there
Hmm.
anything more I can do?" Like We always have a saying where, if you can only give 20, I'm gonna give 80, because it's not gonna be 50-50 all the time. It's not. That's unrealistic
Right.
expectation. But it's, hey, when you don't have it, I do. When you can't step in, I'm
Good.
gonna step in, and vice versa. So I think having that understanding from the beginning is important for marriage, and keeping up, we call them the 4 C's: the Christ, communication, compromise, and oh,
Go ahead.
oh, you threw me off. Hold
What's the
on.
last? I was
We call it the 4 C.
All right, go ahead. What is it? What's the last one?
Commitment.
There you go. All right, you got it.
Okay. So keep up with the 4 C's.
Yes,
Yes.
keep up with the 4 C's.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Okay.
thing, and because that's what it's going to be at the end of the day. I think the other aspect too, even though we're early in our marriage, just because, heading into our 40s, we always keep the mindset of the kids are going to be there, but then they're going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just going
Yeah.
to be us. So it can't be all about the kids.
Right.
You have to come back to your partner, and it has to be about you guys, because when they're gone, it's only us. And I want to still know the man I married in retirement.
Good.
That's the goal. So I think keeping that in mind too is like, don't forget to put your relationship first.
Good. Do you have other kids besides the 13-year-old?
Yes.
Yep.
We have a 1-year-old.
Okay. Oh, you have a 1-year-old. Okay. That's when you were talking about sick. And I was like the 13-year-old, but now it makes more sense.
Yes.
You're dealing with having no sleep. So okay, I get it.
So we're
All
dealing
right.
with a gauntlet of plagues from daycare, whatever is going on. So,
Yeah.
and when you're in the middle of that, like, you still have to laugh, you still have to talk and communicate with one another. Even when it's hard and when you're exhausted.
Gotcha. Okay. I see what you're talking about now. That's good. All right. So what about you, Terrence? What marriage advice do you have?
Same thing with her. Just check in. Of course, I will go back to being intentional, and also too, have date nights. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we forget to date our spouses. That's important. Even though you're married, don't mean you can't date still. Just because
Right.
you're married, they say I do, right, in your vows. So that means, hey,
Right.
I do want to go out. I do want to go to a movie sometimes. I do want to sometimes sit in the car, and go listen to 90s, 2000s playlists or something, So the small things, simple things that we got to do in marriages to be happy. And a lot of times it's very simple. We just make it harder.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
Well, I wanted to add something too with in the marriage and understanding the roles within the marriage as well. I think, because T touched on it before about being submissive. And I know there's often like a negative connotation with that word being used.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, frankly, I'm a boss at work. I'm not trying to be the boss at home. Like, that is me. Like, I'm going to follow your lead. I expect you, of course, you consult me as your partner, and we're going to talk through and compromise. That's where that comes through. But I respect you as the head of this household, and to make the best decision for your family. So I think for women, understanding that before you go into marriage, you may not often get to that understanding in the dating aspect, but when you come together as husband and wife, making sure you understand what that should look like in your relationship. It may not look the same for everybody, but that's how it is for us, and that's what works for us.
Good. Okay. Good. Thank you for adding that. Okay. And then, and that's interesting. You said you're a boss at work, but at home you don't mind following his lead.
Yes. Like, that's where.
Why is that?
Well, because I feel like he protects me. I feel protected. He's my peace when I come home. So many things are pulling at you. Like, I'm a thinker, so I'm constantly thinking about, what about this? What about groceries? Then this bill, and then daycare, and then doctor's appointments, and then this, that, and the third. And so sometimes it's very hard to turn that off. And if you don't think about turning it off, you're going to constantly be on that rat wheel every day, 40 hours a week at work, and then at home. So having that partner to say, hey, I'm following your lead, whatever you think is best, help make those decisions and take that off my plate. That's what I expect from the head of the household.
Okay. I see that. That's good. Okay. And it sounded like earlier Terrence said he likes that about you, that you just follow his lead. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last question, what is your favorite part about being married? And I'll start with Kristina.
Coming home to him, honestly. Like when I say he's my peace, he's my peace. Like coming home, knowing that we're gonna probably laugh. We may cry too, but we're gonna laugh. We're gonna find some joy in our life and the blessings that we've been given. And knowing that I have a partner who's on that same page with me really just makes me excited. It makes me excited for all the aspects of our life that we're going to see. Watching our girls grow up, watching them go off into the world, and then even looking forward to when it's just me and him. Like we look forward to those things.
Nice.
It's not just staying in the present moment or what challenges may be happening around us. Of course, being in the DMV, there's a lot of politics and things happening around us constantly. But knowing that when we come back together, it's love, it's happiness, and it's peace.
Nice. I love it. What about for you, Terrence? What is your favorite part about being married?
Ooh, my favorite part about being married to Kristina. She is weird in her own way, but I love her for it. We so different. It's definitely like opposites attract to some degree. I'm a music head, so I love music. And sometimes I'll be like, babe, have you heard this person? And she'd be like, who is that? So I'm like, okay. But I love her, and our dynamic is so like best friend,
Nice.
my homegirl, wife, lover, mother.
Aw.
I just love being married to her because when the world beats you up and life spits you out, you have somebody to come home to, and for sure you're gonna get loved the right way, hugged the right way. And and sometimes like she said, when we sit in silence, sometimes that's the best part about our day, to be honest. Sometimes you don't have to say things to each other.
Yeah.
Silence says a lot.
Yeah, good. That's beautiful. I love it.
Thanks so much for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe for more real life love stories from couples who met on dating apps. And if you're ready to find your own person, I've linked some free resources below to help you get started. See you in the next video.